This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Just go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. Or you can go to YouTube. Just search for SHR Media. And while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe button and keep up to date on all the great shows that we have on this great network. And there is one other way. You can go to Facebook and well, what is it? At Reaver of Common Sense. That's at Reaver of Common Sense. And you can watch a live broadcast there, too. How's everybody doing? It's Friday. It's a 3-day weekend for most people. I will be on, most likely be on Monday. I haven't exactly decided, according to how much partying I do, which probably won't be much. I think I got some family plans for the weekend. But otherwise, it's probably just going to be a nice, peaceful, calm weekend. I got to finish working on this damn toilet that's still leaking. I can't get it fixed. Pisses me off. I hate plumbing. I hate plumbing. I hate plumbing. So, this one just... We're going to have a couple... we're going to start off with a couple articles on climate change. And this has been a very amusing day reading climate change articles. First off, we're going to start with California Governor Jerry Brown is planning a trip to Russia later this month to discuss climate change policies at an economic forum featuring Russian President Vladimir Putin. So a Democrat governor is going to Russia at an economic forum on climate change policies hosted by and featured by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Didn't we just go through like 8 months of hell of Russian collusion, and now Jerry Brown is running to Russia on an economics forum featuring Russian President Vladimir Putin? So when they go, it's okay. But then they make the shit up about President Trump. That's the funny shit right there. Brown, whose term as state governor ends later this year, is on a quest to elevate California's role as a warrior battling global warming. He is striking out on an international tour to position himself as a principal opponent of President Donald Trump's climate policies. Oh, my God. This Pacific Forum on Trade isn't just an occasion to promote investment. It is an opportunity to strengthen our commitment to decarbonizing the economy, Brown said in a press statement Wednesday night about the forum Putin created in 2015. Every government, every business is responsible for making this radical turn. Yeah, we've seen the radical turns they want us to make. I've seen the radical articles. Yeah. What is it? The beginning of the show. Every beginning of the show, I yawn. I know yesterday I felt like shit as the show went on. I was getting sicker and sicker. I pretty much slept the whole night. Let me check the sounds on these real quick. All right, that sounded good. All right. Sorry. You know what? Yesterday I didn't check and I had nothing but issues, but everything's looking good. So, we'll get back to the article of Jerry Brown going to Russia for economical discussion about climate change. And he will arrive in Russia shortly after the Trump administration forced Putin to close his country's consulate in San Francisco. The order was given in retaliation for the Kremlin's demand that the U.S. significantly reduce its diplomatic staff in Russia. Brown intends on discussing collaboration on targeting climate change with various Pacific nations, including with world leaders such as Japanese Prime Minister, South Korea President. He does not have any private meeting scheduled at the forum with any leaders, Brown's spokesman told reporters. What's funny is he really can't do much at this. What's he going to do? Say California's going to do this and that? He can't sign any treaties with any of these nations. He can't do any negotiations with them. Seems like a big waste of time. Well, except for it gets to make him look all big and bad and look what I did. Look what I did. That's what I did. Yep. That's what I did, Johnny. Oh, gotta change that. Oh, it's funny how far they'll go to keep this.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.
lie going. They've gotten caught multiple times falsifying information, falsifying multiple documents, faking data. I'm dumbfounded. I really am. It's all he's trying to do. He's trying to go out there and look big and bad so he can go out there and try to make it look. What the heck? There's weird things here. Yesterday was the 31st. Man, they got all this shit funked up. It really got some stuff messed up on YouTube. Right now I'm trying to straighten it out real quick. So put that there. They really screwed the pooch. And got us reversed. There we go. Save that. Somehow yesterday, me and BZ show, the titling got totally switched. So I wanted to fix it real quick. Sorry about that. I'm looking at stuff as I'm doing the show, and I notice a mistake. And if I see a mistake, it really drives me up a wall. So I had to stop, collaborate, and listen. No, I had to fix it real quick. What's this one? Damn it. They got a lot of mistakes going. I don't know what the heck is going on. Hopefully that fixes it all. Yeah. I don't know. It's all weird. I think I got it. I think I can. And what? I don't have. Freaking YouTube's telling me I got copyrighted, and I don't. I've made sure that I'm well within the realm of using small sound clips. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright, there's that. I think I got it all fixed now. Oh, it just... And we'll check one last thing. It's not showing today's. So, sorry about that. It fucking confusing. They had everything really boogered up. So, getting it straightened out, getting everything all done. So, everything is straight and looking good. And it's just, I mean, what more can I say about this idiotic governor running to Russia to talk to Putin and some other world leaders about this imaginary global warming bull crap? I mean, really, what more can I say, really? It is what it is. Obama made a bunch of promises to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 28% below 2005 levels by 2025. He also pledged $3 billion to help poorer countries like China and India to reduce their emissions. Let me repeat that. He pledged $3 billion to help poorer countries like China and India to reduce emissions. So if China is poorer than us, why the fuck are we borrowing money from China? Can someone explain that to me? If we're borrowing money from China, why are we pledging $3 billion to them to help them with global warming? Because they're poorer than us. Global warming is nothing but a money scam. It's a pyramid scheme. The big bunch of bullshit. And you get to the other articles. I mean, I just could not believe the asinine comments that have been made over the last couple of days. And make sure I get all of them. Oh, and real quick, we're going to hit this one real quick. You know how they've been trying to go to the Arctic, the North Pole, and 3 missions have been canceled. They've been trying to go there to study the impact of the ice melt and how little ice there is, and every time they've gotten blocked because there's been a record amount of ice. Okay? Record amount of ice. So they went and set up a 4th expedition to the North Pole to raise awareness of global warming, has been forced to turn back 590 nautical miles short of its destination.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
After the yacht found their passage blocked by a large quantity of an unexpected frozen white substance. I wonder what that could have been. Could that have been ice? Ice, baby. Stop. Collaborating. A meeting of the 4 skippers was held, led by a bunch of idiots, and it was agreed further northward progress would increase considerable the risk to the expedition, with very limited scientific reward. The decision to head south back to an area of less concentrated sea ice in the vicinity of 79 degrees, 30 minutes north, was made at 1830 Alaskan time. Concentrated sea ice in the Arctic Circle. Who would have thought of that? Who would have thought of that? I'm serious. Who the hell would have thought of that? As usual on these occasions, the expedition leaders are covering their embarrassment by billing their failure as a great success. Arctic Mission has undertaken an extensive oceanographic wildlife and ecosystem research program during the voyage, led by Tim Gordon of the University of Exeter. This has included work on acoustic ecologically, copepod distribution, and a bunch of other scientific terms that I'm not going to go through. Scientific findings will be released following comprehensive data analysis and tweaking, and former publications and peer-reviewed journals will be faked in 2018-2019. It is believed Arctic missions has sailed further north from the coastline surrounding the Arctic Ocean than any vessel in history without icebreaker support. Oh, maybe. But that wasn't the original point of the expedition, was it? I just... How many more times do we have to put up with this bullshit? How many more times? It's getting ridiculous. It's been a fourth failure over several years. We're going to go prove that there's not enough ice, that the ice is melting at an unprecedented level, and the penguins are drowning, and the polar bears are drowning and starving, and we can't get there because there's too much ice. Shh. But that just proves that global warming, it's fucking ridiculous. And they just keep going with it and going and going. I mean, they're like the Energizer Bunny. Just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. Get the drift yet? I mean, I mean, it's a polar record. Penn Hadow wishes were impossible to achieve. The explorer, who was the first person to walk solo across the packed ice from Canada to the North Pole in 2003. How do we know? There's tribes and people that did a lot of shit that we thought was impossible and have done it. But he will now try to highlight climate change by becoming the first to sail there in a yacht. This jackass is 55 years old, said it would be a bittersweet achievement to achieve the feat because it would mean that the polar ice caps had shrunk to record lows. I'm very conflicted, he said. If we do reach the North Pole by sail, I think the image would be iconic for the rest of the century and a call to action. If 50-foot yacht can do this, imagine what commercial shipping can do. Except it didn't. It got a big fail. All right, we're going to continue on with this. It's just unbelievable. They just won't give up on it. But you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense, I should say. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I try to. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday. Well, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, you got several ways to do it. You can go to reaver.one, that's REAVER.ONE, and click on the SHR TV button. Or you can go to YouTube and search for SHR Media. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and keep up to date. Ay. Ooh, that was a bad burp. That was M&M's caramel. Oh, I don't know what I think of those. I'm still kind of split on them. Excuse the pun. You can also go to Facebook and Reaver of Common Sense on Facebook. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like button to stay up to date on all the shows and information. Right now we're talking about global warming, and it's the big push that they're doing again. We started out talking about how the governor from California is heading to Russia to go to an event that's going to feature Russian President Vladimir Putin, talk about economics with climate change. So a state governor is going to go there with all these world leaders, which I don't know what good that's going to do except just get a little exposure for him to so he could try to further his career. Then we got talking about there was a fourth I don't know I can't think of the expedition. Sorry. Set to go to the North Pole to show how much the ice has shrunk and how bad global warming is killing the penguins and drowning the polar bears. And they had to turn around for the fourth time because there was too much ice. And then why are these hapless fools such suckers for punishment? And the short answer is because that's where the money is. The Arctic is a mighty beautiful place to visit, but it has been pretty well explored. So the only way these days you're going to get sponsors to stump up for your icebergs and polar bear jollies is if you can persuade them it's all about raising awareness and saving the planet, dude. We're going to show them that the ice is melting, so you got to cough up all this money to pay me to go up there to document it, even though I can't get there multiple times. These corporations love to soften their image by having it associated with cuddly, caring green projects, especially if it's accord with their business model. Insurance companies like Catalina, which sponsors Halliday's previous expeditions, for example, has a strong vested interest in bigging up the climate threat because then they get to persuade more clients to insure against weather disasters, which supposedly become more likely as the planet heats up due to man's selfishness, greed, and refusal to amend his lifestyle. The other problem, of course, is misreporting in the mainstream media, for which years has been quoting experts, quote-unquote, assuring us of the Arctic ice imminent disappearance. Meanwhile, in the real world, Arctic ice is stubbornly refusing to follow the alarmist doomsday narrative. In Greenland, for example, the ice sheet since last September has grown at close to a record rate. As Tony Heller notes, using the latest data from National Snow and Ice Data Center, it looks as though there are never going to be any of those ice-free summers the alarmists promised us. This is both good news and bad news. It's bad news for the mainstream media, and especially for environmental correspondents. There are opportunities for writing stories about the dreaded plight of the Arctic and embarking on fun freebies to experience it at first hand are likely diminished with each passing year. Soon it's quite possible green hacktivists will have forgotten what it's like to see the aurora borealis from the deck of the Minuch-sponsored research vessel, or to hear catawaves meowing over the blue-white ice floes at midnight when it's still as bright as day, or the rat-a-tat-tat on the keyboard as they bash out yet another 1,000 words on the vanishing polar bear. They might even have a job which enables them to make the most of their 2.2 in whale watching, bunny hugging, and...
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
It's ridiculous. They keep making this shit up to get free trips and to have good images. These companies just, oh, okay. And they might have to get some jobs suited to their talents, though. Like picking up bottles for Greenpeace at a pop festival. It's good news for us, though. I don't even have to go looking for stories like journalists used to have to do in the old days. They just sail right past my nose like this latest dumbass Arctic failure expedition just did. I open us all a big bag of popcorn and write it and talk about it for the amusement and dereliction. And it's not even as though I'm going to get any competition. About the only people covering this stuff are skeptic bogglers. Most of the mainstream media are looking away, pretending it's not happening because it just doesn't suit their alarmist narrative. I mean, they're getting so bad. They're getting so goddamn bad. This article, and I just about, global warming is responsible for a spike in car accidents, not cell phones. Global warming was responsible for thousands of road deaths in 2015, according to a new study contradicting many public safety experts who blamed increased cell phone use for the spike in traffic fatalities. As temperatures continue to increase from heat trapping gases in the atmosphere, road deaths will likely increase more than expected unless there are major mitigating countermeasures. Retired Yale epidemiologist Leon Robertson said in a statement, traffic deaths rose by 2,348 or 7.2% in 2005 to a total of 35,200 according to the Transportation Department data. Robertson said rising temperatures and increased rainfall had people driving more miles than they would have otherwise, leading to more deaths. So global warming is now causing car accidents. They're desperate. The desperation stinks. Their desperation, it's just, holy shit, people. I'm amazed just how desperate they are to equate car accidents to global warming. The fear-mongering is just overwhelming. I mean, holy shit. Car accidents. I know what's next. I stubbed my toe because of global warming. I'm fat because of global warming. I know. I'm bald because of global warming. Or better yet, I can't get it up because of global warming. It's getting ridiculous with these people. This person's study found that warmer weather accounted for most of the extra deaths in 2015. That year saw the largest jump in traffic deaths in 50 years and is one of the handful of years to disrupt the massive decrease in traffic deaths since 1970s. The Transportation Department, however, said human factors were to blame for most of the traffic deaths in 2015. Human factors including drunk driving, distracted driving, which includes cell phone use, and speeding. The experts are saying, wow, this is what's actually causing the deaths. Not some stupidity, global warming, friggin' elf on a shelf crap. I mean, seriously, how desperate or how stupid do these people really think everybody is? The department also found vehicle miles traveled and the average monthly temperature had strong positive relationship with the number of fatalities, meaning that more fatalities tended to occur when more driving was done and also when weather was warmer. People may also be traveling more due to low gas prices. Crude oil prices began collapsing in summer 2014, and the national average price at the pump was 90% below 2014 levels at $2.52. That year also saw the largest increase in vehicle miles traveled on record, a 3.5 increase. Transportation officials, however, found no strong relation between gas prices and traffic fatalities, though they show that more fatalities tend to occur with low unemployment and low gas prices. Does that mean Robertson is right? Warm winter weathers may have convinced more people to drive in 2015, but global warming refers to long-term shifts in global average temperature, which scientists say could shift weather patterns. The world has warmed around 0.9 degrees Celsius since 1880, according to government data. The U.S. has warmed 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit since 1895, with most of the warming occurring since the 1970s. What happened to traffic fatalities during that time? It's fallen dramatically. This guy had a conclusion and filled in the blanks from he worked backwards. Sort of like what Comey just did recently, we found out. But we'll get to that in a minute, too. Because you've heard all the idiots. Well, you see, Hurricane Harvey proves global warming. Hurricane Harvey is a product of global warming. We've heard all the talking heads yipping away about it like they're some expert when most of them, they're just reading teleprompters. Now, after a delusion media report surfaced linking global warming to Hurricane Harvey, University of Washington atmospheric scientist Cliff Mass analyzed the available data to see just how big a role human emissions of greenhouse gases played in the storm. And the results are clear. Human-induced global warming played an inconsequential role in this disaster, Mass wrote in a blog post, debunking claims that Harvey was fueled by man-made warming. Harvey made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane in late August, dumping record level of rain over the greater Houston area as it stalled over land before moving back out into the Gulf of Mexico. Thousands of people lost their homes and more than 40 people died during the storm. Federal and state officials are working to rescue more people and assess the damage. But some climate scientists and activists were quick to link the storm to global warming. The New York Times and CNN featured articles linking Harvey to global warming. Climate scientist Michael Mann said sea level rise and ocean warming made Harvey more intense. Mass took issue with such claims. Climate scientist Kevin Trenberth suggested that 30% of the rain Harvey dumped over Texas could be attributed to human activity, but Mass found little evidence to support that theory. They are using hand-waving arguments to push an agenda which observation theory and models show to be incorrect. Mass wrote, global warming is a serious issue and mankind must deal with it, but hype and exaggeration of the current effects is counterproductive in the long term. Mass first took aim at claims that warmer than normal Gulf of Mexico temperature allowed Harvey to dump more rain over Texas and Louisiana, exacerbated that flooding. Mass looked at the data and found there's been modest warming in the Gulf, but temperatures in the weeks leading up to the storm were near normal. So Hurricane Harvey developed in an environment in which temperatures were near normal in the atmosphere and a slightly above normal in the Gulf. The clear implication, global warming could not have contributed very much to the storm. Mass also found that hurricane season precipitation around Houston has shown, if anything, a slightly downward trend over the past 50 years, suggesting that global warming isn't playing much role in the region's rainfall. There's no evidence that global warming is influencing Texas coastal precipitation in the long term, and little evidence that warmer than normal temperatures had any real impact on the precipitation intensity from this storm. Mass also took on another major talking point activists threw around in Harvey's wake, namely that global warming caused the storm to stall over land. Climate scientist and writer Eric Hothrus wrote in Political that weather patterns are also getting stuck more often, boasting the chance that a storm like Harvey would stall out. He cited studies suggesting that melting Arctic sea ice weakened the jet stream. Quite honestly, none of this is supported by observation or models, Mass retorted, showing measurements showing no trend in Gulf zonal winds over the past 50 years. Mass does note that average hurricane speed did slow a bit in recent years, but not over the entirety of data set. Also, climate models do suggest slower hurricanes over the Gulf at the end of the 21st century, but not today. The bottom line in this analysis is that both observation of the past decade and the models looking forward to the future do not suggest that one can explain heavy rains of Harvey by global warming, and folks that are suggesting it are poorly informing the public and decision makers, Mass wrote. And I've talked about it. Should we be doing whatever we want to the environment? Did we mess it up a little bit? Yeah, we did. We need to watch what we're doing. But this little skies falling every 5 minutes about everything, that is killing any serious conversation from happening. I don't doubt there's some damage we have done and we need to correct it. But they're going to such extremes and such extreme tactics that it pushes anybody away from taking them serious. And that's what this guy's saying. I probably could have a conversation with this guy to discuss it and what properly needs to be done. Because using tactics like this does more damage than help. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh boy, where are we? I'm just dumbfounded. I really am. Everything that's going on, it's just a massive tragedy's going on, and these people would rather push global warming than sit back and just give time. And then if, we bring up anything at the wrong time, it's improper. I don't know. I'm just so sick of... Ow. I'm just so sick of all this fighting like this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let's see, where are we at? I'm just... It gets tiresome with this global warming crap. It's the same shit over and over, and the lies. And if they actually talked and brought up facts and didn't try this fear-mongering, all that bullshit, we might be able to have a nice conversation that would result in, something coming forward and doing good. But no, they have to pull this crap all the time that pushes everybody away. And they don't want conversation, because if there was actual conversation, it would blow out their whole conversation. Now, here in Florida, there was an issue where the state attorney... I'm going to screw the name up, so I'm going to bring the wife into it. And anybody that's listened to the show before knows what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring in text-to-speech. And she basically sued the governor. And what happened is, there was a case recently where a cop was shot. A cold blood shot. So she got the case and immediately stated she refused... Goddamn autocorrect. Refused to go for the death penalty. Even though everything fell within the death penalty, and this goddamn autocorrect's pissing me off. Hang on. Here it is.
Aramis Ayala.
Aramis Ayala is her name. She's the state attorney. So she refused to go death penalty on a officer that was murdered, cold blood murdered. So Governor Scott walked in, took all of her death penalty cases away from her. And she got all upset and she sued over it. And the first court said that he was well within his right to do it. Well, it went to the Florida Supreme Court. And the Florida Supreme Court backed up and said he had the right to do it. And basically, she was ignoring, as an attorney, she was ignoring law, and that her personal feelings have nothing to do with the law. The Florida law states if you fit within this certain category, you go for a death sentence. So she refused. She was refusing to do her job. So what she's now done, since the Florida Supreme Court ruled that the governor had the right to take those cases away from her, she has introduced a 6 members death penalty review panel. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, can we waste any more fucking money? Can't she just do her job? So no, now we have a 6-member death penalty panel. But all of them do work within her office. And I have chosen this team of experienced prosecutors who I am extremely confident that will follow the law. The 6 prosecutors who make up the death penalty review panel are Gabrielle Sanders, Kendra Moore, and if I mispronounce anybody's name, please don't get pissed. I apologize. Deborah Barra, Kelly Hicks, Chris Smith, Kenneth Nunelli. Ayala explained the process of how the panel will recommend seeking the death penalty. The panel will review each case and look at the same factors that a jury looks at that are outlined in the statute. The assigned attorney of the case, who is also part of the panel, will meet with the victim's family, with the next step being that each member must unanimously agree to recommend seeking death. She described continuing that her office will then file a death notice. Every member believes in this panel the death penalty and believes it should be sought, and I expected to see unanimous decisions to seek death. She added that she has no intention to usurp the authority she has granted the panel, which will begin reviewing first-degree murder cases immediately. Ayala believes that the panel in place, with that panel in place, she could legally get back the nearly 30 cases Scott transferred to the state attorney Brad King, but she said she would not do that. It's not in the best interest to the families of homicide victims or their cases at this point. There is a difference between giving up and letting go. At this time, I believe the most compassionate and human response is to allow them to remain with the current prosecutor and not be impacted by any ping-pong effect, she said. Ayala stated a number of times that despite what she believes and how she interpreted the law, she will honor Thursday's Florida Supreme Court ruling and will recognize the law. She also added that she believes that her budget, which was slashed by Scott, will be restored since her panel has been created. In March, Ayala made a blockbuster announcement that she would not seek the death penalty against Markeith Lloyd, the man accused in the shooting deaths of his pregnant ex-girlfriend, and the Orlando police lieutenant, Deborah Clayton, or anyone else charged with first-degree murder. In April, Ayala filed a federal lawsuit against Scott because he reassigned nearly 24 death penalty cases. However, the High Court on Thursday stated the governor does have the authority to remove Ayala's death penalty cases. The executive orders reassigning death penalty eligible cases in the Ninth Circuit to King did not exceed the governor's authority on the fact of this case. Therefore, we deny Ayala's petition, the court concluded. The court stated Ayala's blanket refusal to seek the death penalty in any eligible case shows that she is at best has a misunderstanding of Florida law. Ayala said that she will respect the Supreme Court's decision, but in a surprising twist, she announced that she plans on creating a death penalty review panel. I think it's a waste. She should be able to do her job herself. And if she can't do that job to full capabilities, then she should move on from that position. There was things within as being an EMT I did not like to do. But it was within my job requirement. So guess what? I did it. Whether it was against my personal morals or not, I did it because it was my job and this was what I was required. I picked this job. It did not pick me. So I'm so tired of. And it was a political grandstand she did because she's hoping to further her career. That's all it was. She's hoping to further her career. And probably I'll put money in a couple of years she's going to make a political run. And it's going to be as a Democrat. Right now, that's what it's come down to. And it's funny, Democrats, they're against the death penalty. They're against putting criminals to death. They're against self-defense. They're against holding terrorists to justice. But yet, they're for killing all the babies you want, paid for by the federal government. Ain't that some shit, people? Think about that. They're against the death penalty, killing people who murder for no reason. They're against defending yourself against those same criminals. But they're for murdering innocent babies. And if you speak up against it, you're a sexist. You're against women's rights. Because you're trying to defend that little life. As they defend criminals. So you tell me who's more about civil rights. Who's more about the law? Sure as hell ain't the Democrats anymore. Sure as hell ain't them. I mean, this right here, you got a friggin' state attorney. And can't even bring herself to do her job properly. To the full extent. And you know what? She was stupid in doing it. She could have sandbagged these goddamn cases just enough that they would get convicted, put in jail for life, and not get the death penalty. And everybody probably would have been the wiser. She would have got convictions, and that's all that would have mattered for her career. But instead, she had to make this big grandstand out there. And she pissed off the cops. Just pissed off the cops. Because when she made the announcement, it was over the murder of a black female Orlando police officer. Talk about being dumb. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to Reaver of Common Sense. Hang on. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover has arrived, and we have expanded it to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Just go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. Or you can go to YouTube, search SHR Media. And don't forget to hit subscribe while you're there and keep up to date with all the great shows. Or you can even go to Facebook, search Reaver of Common Sense. And don't forget to hit like and keep up to date there. Oh, let's see. Where are we Where are we at? Talking about Florida. How the state attorney has set up a death panel review for her office because she doesn't believe in death penalty. Oh my God. Sometimes it just makes you wonder. Things that make you go, Makes me go, what the fuck is going on? Seriously, what is going on in this world nowadays? We need special, the law is very clear on when you do one of these, when you do a brain fart, death penalty case. There's certain things you got to do to even get to that point. So we don't need goddamn 30,000 people picking up, trying to decipher, and, well, should we? It's very clear. I commend them that they're trying to be thorough, but sometimes you can go a little too far. Just as we do all so many times. We do too often nowadays. Oh, I don't know. It just seems crazy anymore. Nothing is easy. Nothing is just, hey, here's the law. Let's do what the law says. You got too many goddamn Democrats that are trying to make political statements so that they can run for higher office at some point, and instead of just letting their jobs, and make a name for them. Their jobs will do just fine when making a pitch. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know. What happened to the days when things were a lot more black and white? Yes, I'm looking down at my keyboard very often. I'm searching something as I talk, because we're going to get on to another topic in a minute. It's getting ridiculous. Really ridiculous. And colleges, screw that, man. Screw that. And you got a couple colleges that are hurting bad. Why are they hurting? Because, well, they've been stupid. And they've been allowing too much of the protesting and all that. And, well, they went and pissed off the parents. And who pays for the college educations? Well, the parents do. And they went and pissed them off, and now the parents don't want to send to some of these schools. All right, I should be able to ask, sorry. And now you have a couple colleges that are struggling. Both the University of Missouri and Evergreen State College have been rocked by left-wing demonstrations, some of which administrators in both schools allowed. Now both have had to deal with failing enrollment and decline in funds, and there are fears the situation could spread to other schools. The defining issue is whether parents and donors see administrators as capable of containing clashes and responding firmly when protests get out of control, experts say. There's a Jacqueline Merle of the American Council of Trustees and Alumni, a nonprofit that advocates for a variety of higher education issues, told Fox News that how a college handles free expression matters greatly to prospective students, their parents, and donors. I mean, would you want to send your parents to the University of Berkeley right now? Honestly, I wouldn't send my dog to the University of Berkeley right now. Not because I disagree with their liberal academics. I wouldn't trust the safety. I seriously would not trust the safety. And it... Where is it? Would you trust? I mean, I don't know if I would trust the safety of my child in any of these. It's... And you got to be looking at these colleges, how bad they're going to be hurting financially. And they can't keep up with the losses that are going to be going on. Flipping through on Facebook real quick, and I'm seeing that video of the nurse that got arrested. Jesus Christ. As there's a fire site I'm on, it says we back the blue, but this case, I mean, that officer went way, way overboard. You don't piss off the hospital staff either. I mean, that woman was doing exactly what the policies that were agreed upon with that law enforcement agency. And that cop he wanted to ignore the law. He wanted to get what he wanted. She had a supervisor on the phone that was saying no, and he decides to take it out on the goddamn nurse. That just... And it's not all police. I'm not going after all police. This officer went way above and beyond what he should have. It's a shame. And you know they knew he was in the wrong when they took the woman, put her in the car, and 20 minutes later they released her. Because they knew they had nothing to hold her on, and... realistically, they're looking at some lawsuits over this. And I back my law enforcement. I do. But this one, I cannot in any way justify, approve, nothing. It was... absolutely wrong on how he handled it. No ifs, ands, or buts. He went the wrong way with it. It could have been it could have been handled so much better. But he chose to lose his temper. He didn't want to do things properly. And, well, I honestly, I'm sorry if I piss some people off. I hope that officer loses his job because he deserves what he put that nurse through. She did nothing wrong. She was looking out for the best of her patient. And also, if she would have drew that blood, even though she was being told to by an officer, and it was not legal, number one, everything would have been thrown out of the court. The cop would have looked like an idiot. And number two, she could have lost her job and then been arrested for assaulting a patient. So she was in a rock and a hard place to begin with. Because if she doesn't do things properly and she draws that blood, that's assaulting a patient. But, the officer wasn't thinking of that part. He just wanted his way and his way only. And it just... I'm sorry, this time I cannot back the police on that one. That one was just... He just went way too far. And it wasn't smart. Oh, I don't know. It's... Some of these... Man, and one of those cops knew it wasn't right, because if you watch the video, when he starts taking the woman outside, and you're going to see a cop walk up, put his hand on the cop's shoulder, and you can see he's looking, and he's like, has this look like, you're fucking up, dude. You're wrong. And you get to see it on that cop's face. He knew that cop was 100% wrong. And who pays for it? That woman does. That woman, I hate talking about it. That's going to affect her for a very long time. She did her job. She couldn't draw blood on the guy. There was an agreement and policy set forth. And I've been in the ER and had to draw blood on patients for DWI and all that. And I had no problem. As long as all the paperwork was put in properly that covered my ass doing the procedure. Because I'm not going to be the one that wants to have to go to court and explain to a judge and a prosecutor why I fucked up. Like I said, that nurse, she could have lost her license, her means of supporting a family. And that cop would have been, oh well, not my problem. Well, it's now his problem. It's his problem big time. But I digress. Damn, wonder what that's about. How did I go? That's right. I went from the college to that nurse somehow and just took a major turn. Back to what we were talking about, colleges and some of the issues they're coming up with. Would you send your kid where Antifa is going to be showing up? And there's certain schools they're going to be there and they're going to be causing issues. And one of them at Berkeley. Like I said, I would not send my dog to Berkeley. I wouldn't trust him to watch my dog. I wouldn't trust him to watch my pet rock. And I don't even have a pet rock. They think they're doing, and Mayor Berkeley is all cocky and shit. Problem is, it's starting to get linked to him that he's with, even on Facebook, he's liked these pages, and that's enough to connect them to these groups. And then all of a sudden, in his town, these riots keep happening where the police aren't doing shit. Well, it's going to get linked that he's helping them. And sooner or later, he's probably going to get his ass sued on one of these. People are not putting up with shit anymore. It's freaking dumbass to it. They're putting their careers on the line. For what? Seriously, for what? These Antifa groups, they're turning on their master, so to speak. There's no control of them. It's not smart. Don't be putting your career in their hands. That'd be dumbassery. All right, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I got to see what the hell's going on here. Shit. Oh, boy. I just turned on sound by accident on Facebook, and it was very choppy and very noisy. So I want to check it real quick again. Never ending. Never goddamn ending when it comes to technology. Oh, boy. This is weird. Huh. I'm going to play my commercial real quick. That is super weird. Super, super weird. I don't know why it's doing that either. It's doing great earlier. Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. See how the YouTube's doing. You know, every time you think you got everything going good, you get kicked in the nuts. Let's see. And all of a sudden, that went batshit wild. And I don't know why. I don't know why. All right. Let's... You know, yesterday was doing good. Today was doing good. There we go. Hopefully that delays. Hopefully that did a little something, something. Whoa. Oh, that could be it too. I got a storm rolling in. I just saw the flash of lightning out of the corner of my eye. Nope. That is a big storm heading in. Woo-hoo. That's why my internet just went to shit in a handbasket. I might actually drop the show half hour early because of the weather. Let me see what storm we have coming in, how big it is. Because that thunder's still going. Still going. It just finally stopped, that thunder did. Woohoo! Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. All of a sudden, just the sound. Ooh, shit. Whew. I'm going to show you guys. That's the weather I have incoming right now. Ay, Chihuahua. That's Florida for you. Well, the storm seasons, we got like another month or so, and then we'll be good. So I apologize. I don't know why it went to shit all of a sudden. The video's great. It's just the sound went to shit. That one's a new one. And it shouldn't be. Sound should be good. I wonder how it is on SHR Media. All right. See how the live broadcast is doing. You know, you get one thing fixed and another thing pops up. I honestly think it's the storm and it's messing up my internet a little bit. I'll be able to tell you in a second. For some reason, we got a goddamn commercial. Seems like whenever you hit play anymore on speaker, it plays a commercial. I'm going to have to ask Sean about that. Is that normal? Or? Oh, boy. Come on. I'd like to get on with my show, but... I don't know. It's... damn, that's really low. I thought it was higher than that. I'm going to jack my volume up a little bit. Holy shit. That's pretty bad. I didn't know it was that low. Whoa. It's not like I go listening to my program all the time. Just sitting here and checking the volume level, and then I'll get back going. All right, there we go. Oh, it just seems like it's been a date of oopsies. Hopefully the broadcast will be looking better Monday. Like I said, we got that storm coming in, and storms, rumbling. These colleges are getting nuts. Evergreen State has experienced a decline in enrollment that has resulted in a $2.1 million budget shortfall, forcing the liberal arts school to announce layoffs. The blow to the school's enrollment and finances is seen as stemming at least in part from the showdown. At Evergreen State College last year, left-wing students called for a day for whites to stay off campus. But a professor, well known as a progressive, publicly criticized the move. The response was threats and physical intimidation by students. Administrators decided to suspend classes for several days. Do you want to send your kids to that type of college? I mean, it's... In 2015, the University of Missouri's main campus, which is in Columbia, experienced escalating tension over alleged allegations of racism at the school, and protests became violent. Several administrators ascended to demonstrators, demanded that they resign. School officials were widely criticized for not gaining control over the protests, which grew in size and tensions, even resulting with in some demonstrators lashing out at reporters who were trying to cover their message. Since then, freshman enrollment has plunged by 35%, and donation to the athletic department has dropped 72% over the year before, according to published reports. There was also a drop in students, football players signing to University of Missouri after that incident. Who wants to go to that school? The general consensus was that declining enrollment was because of the aftermath of what happened in November 2015. There were students from both in the state and out of state that just did not apply, or those who did not apply but decided not to attend it. If left-wing groups continued making demands and administrators bow down to them, other schools may suffer the same fate as Missouri and Evergreen, according to one expert. And I will not. My daughter, she's 5 years away from going to college. And you don't think I'm looking at a few colleges right now and seeing what's going on? Going, hell no. Even some of these top-notch schools, the shit that they're teaching and pushing, hell no, I ain't going to spend that kind of money to have my daughter get brainwashed by some of these professors. And they got some dangerous goddamn professors at some of these schools. And then the students themselves, with the Democrat Party pushing it, hell no. I mean, there's expressing your views or demonstrating for a cause, but disrupting and making people feel unsafe on campus. It's time for administrators to lay down the boundaries. They must not be afraid to expel students and lay down the law. Oh, jeez. If it's not one thing, it's another. Oh, I'm telling you, if it's not one thing, it's another with the show tonight. I mean, the college is supposed to be a place for open discussion and different ideas to come through. Where people with different ideas, and I keep saying it, that's where the best ideas come from. When you mix different ideas, you get great ideas. I mean, just about probably every great invention is a mixture of other people's ideas coming together. Somebody just doesn't go, aha, eureka, I'm going to do this. Ba-ba-bum, it's done. It's the best invention ever. No. There's different levels. Well, that didn't work out that great, and you're going to have to try this, and you're going to have to try that. And what about doing this? And what about doing that? And, you failed here. I'm a liberal. You can't use those words. I didn't fail. I tried hard. You got to accept it the way it is. No, you don't. People are going to say bad things. People are going to say mean things to you. Fucking pick your balls up. And yes, women do have balls. They're called ovaries. They're internal. And scientifically, yes, they are the same thing. They just differ early on in the stage of evolution. Or maybe not evolution, but creation. Dust them off. I get so tired of it. Why don't you do something about your death threat? You know what? It's not even worth it. People get so hurt nowadays, and I'm going to kill you. You need to die. Because they're behind a computer. I mean, it's like the old alcohol strong. Now it's computer strong. And then you get in colleges. You can't say that. That's mean. And we can't deport the dreamers. It's mean. It's mean to them. You know what? It's the law. When did the law become a bad thing? You know, it's getting ridiculous nowadays. Who decides what's hate speech anymore? Because you get the liberals, everything that the right says, that's hate speech. They don't like this group, it's hate speech. Because they're not kowtowing to us, so that's hate speech. They don't like that group because they don't agree the same way we agree. If we all thought the same way, we'd be fucked. We'd be so fucked. It's not even funny. Oh, well, yeah, me make fire. Oh, we go to cave. Boom, 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 boom. We'd still be there. We would. Because we would all be thinking the exact same thing, and nothing would ever evolve. Damn, people. Get your head out of your ass. And let's get a pop in and see if there's any update on this goddamn live stream. Nope. That sucks. All right, I'm going to shut them down for the night because it's not looking good for them. And I don't know why they're not running right. Just doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be screwing up again. Right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I just came across an article in San Francisco at a Russian consulate that has been ordered to close by Trump. Firefighters showed up there today because there was fire or smoke emanating from the top of the building. When firefighters arrived at the scene, they were turned away by consulate officials who came from inside the building. An Associated Press reporter heard people who came from inside the building tell firefighters that there was no problem, that the consulate staff were burning unidentified items in a fireplace. The spokesman from the San Francisco Fire Department said the department received a call about the smoke. It sent a crew to investigate, but determined the smoke was coming from the chimney. They had a fire going in their fireplace, she stated. It went on. She did not know what they were burning on the day when normally cool San Francisco temperatures had already climbed to 95 degrees by noon. It was not unintentional. They were burning something in their fireplace, she stated. The consulate workers are hurrying to shut Russia's oldest consulate in the United States ahead of Saturday's deadline. The order for Russia to vacate the consulate in an official diplomatic residence in San Francisco, home to a long-standing community of Russian immigrants and technology workers, escalated an already tense diplomatic standoff between Washington and Moscow. Friday morning, a handful of people with businesses at the embassy were allowed into the building. A day earlier, Russian citizens said they were able to pick up and renew their passports if they had pre-existing appointments. Consular officials did not comment as they got into cars with diplomatic plates. A man and a woman exited the consulate Friday and spoke to a reporter from CBS San Francisco. When asked about the burning inside, he said there is no burning. Oh. Russia's just, Democrats just pushing. Just keep pushing it. We're going to be back at war. So I mentioned it earlier, and I didn't get back to it. James Comey. It's now being reported that there's a letter that he wrote before he interviewed a single person, before investigating a single person, that exonerated Hillary Clinton. He already made up his mind that she was innocent. This goes against several statements of his. This is proving that this guy's more full of shit than a cow. And he's been playing politics this whole time. He had already had her innocent, whether by order or his Democrat side already decided to cover up her crimes. Because it's not good when you have the head of FBI already have a decision made prior to investigation. That's not how it works, people. That is not how it works. Doesn't surprise me, though. Does not surprise me. So, yes, now it's cut. And you know what? If he's already has her innocent and he's lied multiple times already, this whole investigation into Russia is a goddamn joke. In fact, let me see if I had that article up. I can't remember if I had that up for today or not. Fresh allegations that former FBI Director James Comey began drafting an exoneration statement for Hillary Clinton well before interviewing her or other key witnesses have called into question his Senate testimony about why he decided to go public with his findings in the email case last summer. In a June hearing before the Senate Intel Committee, Comey was asked whether his decision to announce the results of the investigation was influenced by then-Attorney General Loretta Lynch's infamous meeting days earlier on an Arizona tarmac with former President Bill Clinton. Yes, in an ultimately conclusive way, that was the thing that capped it for me. That I had to do something separate to protect the credibility of the investigation. Yet an August 30 letter from Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and Senator Lindsey Graham said that interview transcripts showed Comey was drafting what they call an exoneration statement for Clinton weeks earlier. You know, this is getting there. There's a lot of bullshit that's going on that needs to be aired out. We have some very big corruption going on in this government, and we need to find out exactly what the fuck is going on. Because I, for one, am getting tired of it. Representative Ron DeSantis, special counsel must be limited or it will become open-ended fishing expedition. He was doing an interview on Friday and talked about legislation he has introduced to limit special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation to 6 more months if no firm evidence of Russia collusion with the Trump 2006 campaign is uncovered. Quote, when a special counsel was appointed, the Deputy Attorney General who appointed Mueller, Rod Rosenstein, came and briefed the Congress, the House of Representatives, in a closed-door sessions. DeSantis recalled, I asked him in front of the entire House, I said, how do you do this appointing order where you're citing as a basis for it Comey's testimony from March, where he talked about the existence of a counterintelligence investigation vis-a-vis Russia, when the Department of Justice regulations require it to be criminally investigated before you can do a special counsel. He couldn't really answer the question, and that's kind of a basic question. And so from the very beginning, when the special counsel was appointed, there have not been any effective limits to the scope or duration of the investigation. We see that in play with some of the leaks that have come out, focusing on things Manafort may have done 3 or 4 years ago, far before the campaign. Look, maybe that needs to be dealt with. Maybe he did wrong. I don't know. But you don't need a special counsel for that. My amendment sets a limit of only matters since Trump's campaign started. And then if you don't have anything 6 months after enactment, that will have been almost 2 years of investigating, because Comey was doing the Russia probe before Mueller was superimposed. Comey started in 2016, so this takes us to the spring of 2018. And in my view, it has always been that the Russia stuff was more about the media trying to hurt the president, and not that there was really hard facts. But look, if you have hard facts, produce them. If you don't, the idea that you just keep looking to find anything that you can so you can take out a Manafort or take out other tangent figures on unrelated matter, that's not a good use of our resources. And it diverts our attention on Capitol Hill away from focusing on the core issue that the American people want us to address. DeSantis pointed out, in a normal prosecutor's office, they do have guidelines about how long you can have investigations before you kind of gotta fish or cut bait. They're not hard and fast rules in the Department of Justice, but they're general guidelines. The things you have, all these other cases you've got to deal with. You may have 150 cases. You can't just do one case if it's not going anywhere to the exclusion of that. So there's a natural limitation that just sets in because of the amount of cases you have to do. With the special counsel, that's not the case. This is all they have. And Mueller has hired, 14 prosecutors. That's an extraordinary number of people for this. Were there 14 prosecutors on the O.J. Simpson murder trial or in Oklahoma City? I don't think so. Basically, they have every incentive to find something. Just keep going until you find something, because they've got nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. And what's worse is those 14 prosecutors are all Democrat-backed. Is this being done because we want to answer this question about were there crimes committed by members of a presidential campaign working in cahoots with Russia? Yes or no? And if there weren't, then go on. All the stuff we're hearing are things that really are unrelated to that. To do something on Manafort for things he did in 2013 or 14, that is a scalp for a media to hang. But does that really answer the question that Mueller was put in there for? They don't really do that at all. That's a danger of not having an appointing order that has limits on what they're looking for. Rosenstein did not put limits in there. He was on TV the other day saying, we don't do fishing expeditions at the Department of Justice, but his appointing order really invites a fishing expedition. To me, Mueller is fungible, because I think whoever you put in that position, with the appointing order that it's in place, they have every incentive to conduct a fishing expedition. That's just the way things go. You know, it's... How much longer are we supposed to keep dealing with this bullshit? It's been going on for almost 2 years, and nothing. But we just keep going, keep digging. Well, we had China before. we actually have anything. Here's another little tidbit for you. FBI and DHS warned of increasing violent Antifa clashes in 2016 documents show, but Obama was more worried about finding right-wing issues. Well, before the deadline, August 12th rally before the deadly August 12th rally in Charlottesville and the ongoing violent clashes with white supremacists and other groups, federal authorities warned local officials the action of left-wing extremists were becoming increasingly confrontational and dangerous. Federal agencies warned of the growing likelihood of lethal violence between left-wing anarchists and right-wing white supremacists. Some even classified their action as domestic terrorist violence. And previously unreported documents dating back to April 2016 and viewed by Fox News, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security wrote that anarchist extremists and Antifa groups were primary instigator of violence at public rallies. They blamed these groups for attacks on police, government, political institution, racist, fascist, and symbols of capitalism. The agency warned the rise of fascists, nationalists, racist, or anti-immigration groups in the U.S. political discord could lead to violent backlash from these anarchist extremists. The FBI and DHS had no comment on the assessment, saying they were not intended to be made public. Politico was first to report on the document Friday. Brian Levine, a former New York City police officer who monitors domestic militants at the Center for Study of Hate and Extremism at California State University, San Bernardino, cautioned calling all members of the Antifa movement domestic terrorists and said not all tolerate the use of violence while protesting. That is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Because it's right on their webpage. Right on their webpage to use it to get what they want. People in their movement allow for confronting, jostling, committing low-level type offenses, but there has been for some time a core that have tipped the movement to confrontational violence. The hardest edge in Antifa spectrum comes under that category. Not all Antifa are busting heads. Violence is violence, no matter what degree. All right, actually, that's going to be the end of the show right there. We're going to leave it at that our government knew and pointed it out a while ago that there was these issues popping up. But Obama chose to ignore it. I'll be back Monday, same time, 9 p.m., right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. You have a great 3-day weekend, and I'll see you Monday. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.